I made $40,000 in 1 year just by pet sitting on Rover, but it's not all puppies and playtime. I had the audacity to make a video all about Rover last year after I had only been doing it about 6 weeks. Granted, I do think I did have a pretty good grasp of it, but I had literally only just started doing it. So I was gonna give y'all a breakdown on how much money I've made and like what months are the busiest and which ones are the slowest and like what activity you make the most, or I make the most money off of. So I started last year in June of 2024, and so the first month I only made like $213. I started like right at the end of the month. In July of 2024, I made $2,833 in July. In August, I made $2,818. September, $2,820. In October, I only made $2,093, but also in October, I took a week off and I went to Memphis for the week. Then in November, I also took a week off. We went to Jamaica the week before Thanksgiving, because that is one thing about Rover is the holidays are your busiest time. So I knew that, so we went to Jamaica the week before Thanksgiving, and then I had all of Thanksgiving week booked. So I did have a week off in November, but I still made $3,331. And then we had a whole house full over Thanksgiving. I think I might have had 7 or 8, and it was quite the experience. We had Thanksgiving at my house, and we put all the dogs outside for when we ate. It was nice weather outside. They all barked the entire time we ate dinner. My daughter's family was over with her kids, and I was like, okay, you guys gotta hurry up and leave so I can get these dogs back inside. And that's not how I wanted to spend Thanksgiving. So that was a little crazy. So I knew Christmas was gonna be the same way. I knew it would be my most profitable month, which it was. The month of December, I made $5,848. My mom and my oldest adult son came and stayed with us over Christmas, so I knew it was gonna be chaotic, and I was very picky about what kind of dogs I took. I asked a lot of questions, took a lot of golden retrievers, and I believe I had 10 over Christmas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm pretty sure I have 10. Who did I just not count? Oh, 10? Maybe? Okay, let's start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, wait a minute. Now I'm at 11. Okay. There's 10 dogs here. 1, 2. Well, there's 9 in Misha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It wasn't always the same. They switched out a little. A couple came right after Christmas. A couple came before Christmas. But it was interesting. Not only that, but I had drop-ins everywhere all day. And that was a little bit taxing. That was more taxing than the dogs at my house. I also, because I was doing like 15 or so drop-ins a day and had all the dogs at my house and had family in town and all that, the first time I like really screwed up, I lost 2 people's keys. One of them I just straight up lost. I don't ever know what happened to it. Luckily it was the very last day, and it was a kitten, like a mid-sized grown kitten, and they actually came back the same day I was supposed to drop in, and I lost the key, so luckily that worked out. The other one, my mom went back to Memphis, and I had driven her car some while she was there to do the drop-ins, and I left their key in my mom's car and didn't realize it until she was well gone to Memphis. So luckily they lived in an apartment and the people could come unlock the door, but I felt so ridiculous. But that's the only time I've ever had issues like that, and it was all combined in that week of Christmas. Luckily the people that I sent their key to Memphis just rebooked me for their summer vacation, so apparently they weren't too upset. I could not believe how many mistakes I made in that time period. So definitely have put some things in place with keys and such, so I don't have that problem again where I am carrying 15 different keys and get that hectic. January, I made $2,602. A lot of that was still from that in where I live in Florida. The kids are out of school till like end of the second week of January, so a lot of people are still on vacation and stuff, because definitely in February it just went straight downhill. I only made like $1,268 in February, and that was really just my recurring drop-ins, and that was it. I might have boarded a couple. I did go to space camp with my daughter during that time, so I was gone a little bit but not too long. March, again, I went to Memphis. My family lives in Memphis, if you haven't caught that. In March, I made $2,225, and I was gone for a week to Memphis. April, $2,644. May, second highest month of the last year, $4,727. And we're only in the second week of June as I'm recording this. For what I've got booked, I'm at $3,300 for the month. I fully expect to finish around $4,700 also, just because I haven't even added in my recurring things yet. So I also figured out like what I make the most money off of. The only thing I don't do is I don't do house sitting, because I have a whole family. I can't go take a vacation at somebody else's house. Out of the money, out of like $40,000, boarding was about $20,000, daycare $1,500, drop-ins $14,000, I'm rounding, and walks $2,200. Honestly, I wish I had more walks, because I just prefer, it's like, to me it's the best thing, because you get exercise, you get the dog out, you have a designated thing to do, you just like get in there, get the leash, take a walk. I do really hate picking up poop, like really hate picking up poop. And it's not even picking up the poop, I hate that I can't get the bags open, like ever. I'm always just standing there like trying to get a stupid poop bag open. Then I hate having to carry the poop. If I have poop, poop just sucks. Poop is the poopiest part of this job.
Hi. So most of you know Montana and Monica. For those of you that are new to the channel, I have 5 kids. I have 3 adult children, Jordan, Mackenzie, and Jackson. And these are Mackenzie's daughters, Lainey, Amelia. Mackenzie is finishing her degree in social work, and she is doing her internship this summer, which means I have full-time helpers for the whole summer. Knowing which percentages of each, that means like 57% of the income comes from being in my home, and about 43% of it comes from being at other people's home. I feel like I really don't ever get a day off. Sometimes I'm very thankful for this flexible schedule. What do you see? I really don't spend a lot of money aside from just gas, but the biggest downfall is they're destroying my house, my backyard, where they run in the dirt. What used to be grass is now all dirt. It seems like I'm constantly cleaning, like constantly. And then I have so many dogs have had accidents. I have hard floor downstairs, carpet upstairs. I usually will bring them upstairs to sleep in my room at night. But like once one has peed on the floor, they all smell it. And I've shampooed my carpet so many times. I'm afraid. I'm very afraid. Like, I don't smell it right now, but I'm very afraid. I have that nose blind thing where like somebody else walks in my house and they're like, oh my God. I've had dogs eat things. I had one eat my orthopedic pillow. I've lost 2 pairs of shoes. My husband's lost a pair of shoes. My daughter's lost countless art projects. They've chewed furniture. So it definitely takes a toll on your house, and that is the one thing. But that's where the most money comes from, is boarding. And sometimes I have a group of dogs where it's just like just having extra dogs, you know. It's just like I have a few dogs, it's fine. And there's sometimes where literally they leave and I'm like, oh thank God, because my house has just been turned upside down, and they stress everybody out. And... Ben, calm it down, bud. I was turning this on to ask y'all how you feel about us doing Rover and boarding dogs.
So, if anybody gives you a request for Sappy She's in her teenager
Okay,
phase. So don't. She's in her beautiful teenager phase.
Finn. Finn. We're not barking at anybody right now.
We don't. How about you?
Calm down. It's bedtime. Everybody else, look around. Everyone's trying to go to bed but you. Okay, but you didn't answer the question.
I think it's going pretty good besides all the terrible dogs.
Montana, how do you feel?
About what, Rover?
Yeah.
I like it. It's helped us meet like many dogs. I like it because like it's helped us meet like so many dogs, and it's helped us like walk a lot and stuff.
Because me and Montana are gonna do the 4-day march, right?
Yes.
You're gonna get up with me at 9 in the morning and go walk some dogs. I have to go walk Gus and Olive.
I don't know about that.
Hey, I'm making a video about doing Rover. So you have to say...
About what?
About doing Rover. So you have to say, as a member of the household, how you feel about us doing Rover.
I had to look at myself. Charlie, I don't like it when they jump on the back of my legs like that. Other than that, it's great.
Or if you have dogs that bark at you constantly, every time you walk into a room.
Yeah, where they sit there like I'm a stranger or something.
But overall, you like to see the dogs when you come home?
Yeah, I love it. Especially when Finn runs up.
Finn be whining.
Charlie. Huh?
Finn started whining. Charlie's going home today. And that's another thing I always have to tell Jackson the agenda or he gets mad. Charlie's going home today, and then we have Ollie. I don't know if you remember Ollie.
No.
For like 3 days toward the end of the week.
When does Ruka come back?
She's always comes at just random times. Like if he's, because you know she works like in a medical place in Destin now, and her husband is a firefighter, and so if ever she's at work all day and he's on shift, that's when she wants her to come.
Oh, okay.
And then Minnie's coming for like 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Minnie. Minnie's your girl.
Okay. This concludes your interview. Thank you for your support. I get this husky last night. This husky. And of course I have a husky. I love huskies. But this one's really young. They were getting ready to go out of town and they forgot to bring her food or anything with her. And then her harness broke. So they gave me $100. So tomorrow I have to go shopping to get the dog a harness and food. After we all tried to go to bed and Montana fell asleep on the couch. After we all went to bed, she started howling incessantly. And she pooped and peed all over the ground. So I cleaned that up, I let her out, I came back in, I laid down out in here. And she started again, so I let her out this time. It's the only dog I've ever had here that just doesn't want to come back in, but she's a husky, so I know. No! 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 Outside! 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 Come on! Outside! No! No! So now that I've cleaned all the poop and pee up for the 4th time, that she's pooped in the floor immediately. Hush. Shh. Lay down, lay down, lay down. and these are all the things I have to do today. And I have had absolutely zero sleep. I've talked to one of my daughter's good friends' mom does it too, and she's been doing it for 8 years, and she says the same thing. And she says, my husband says all the time, people lie about how well trained their dog is, and she says people do lie. And some of my friends in Mississippi do it, and they really like the extra income, but they have the same complaints about keeping them at their house. And the way I look at it is, if somebody is going out of town and they ask you to come to their house and check in on their dogs and let them out and walk them or whatever, that dog is well behaved enough to stay home by himself, even if it's in a kennel. Sometimes they are in a kennel, sometimes they have free rein. If I left town, I would leave my dog at home, and I would ask somebody to come walk her like 3 times a day and hang out with her, you know, because those dogs are well behaved. The ones that can't be left at home have to come to my house, and it's very hit or miss. I love doing drop-ins because I like to look how other people live. Not like being nosy, it's just other people, like just how people live. People's like houses and relationships and all that is just interesting to me. And I'll take pictures, and I'm like, oh, I would like to not take pictures of their house, but like I would like to have that, you know, mudroom set up in my house, or like I really like this about their house. Like, for example, I learned that this pocket hose is absolutely amazing. It never kinks.
Hey, buddy.
When I do drop-ins, especially if it's a dog that's in a kennel, I want them to have treats that I can give a treat for at least put them in the kennel. So if I don't have treats, it's really, really difficult.
There's days like this where you have to run to get out of a massive storm and get really wet with the storm. I really have to pee.
The only other thing I've really invested, I guess, in is I have had to put several gates in my house, like to keep dogs from going upstairs, or just to block off the area between the living room and the front door so I don't have escapees. I have one really terrifying experience, and it was over Thanksgiving when we had 7 dogs. I don't even remember why I came downstairs, but I came downstairs. I think one of the dogs had asked me to let them out. Like, they came to the bed, I'll like be in bed and they'll like be in my face. And I came downstairs, I just opened the back door and I let them out, and I was doing something in the kitchen, and I thought to myself, I can't believe none of them have come back to the door to bark. And then I had one little small dog. I had an Australian Shepherd and an Aussie Poo over Thanksgiving. They were really good. The Aussie Poo, I could hear barking, and that, you know, but it didn't sound like it was coming from the backyard, and I was like, and then I walked to the door and I opened the door and I didn't see anybody, and I looked around the corner and my gate was open, wide open. No idea why. That is not something that happens. And I think I screamed, oh, beep, 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 so loud it woke my husband up. And I bolted out the door, down the deck, out the side. The gate is like, this goes out the side yard, and I'm like screaming. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I have no shoes on, no bra on. Thank God, as soon as they saw me and they started running. And so I'm like, come on. And I turned around, started running back to the house, and they all like just running down the street toward all of them, except for I had a puppy. I had a Burmese mountain dog puppy named Van Helsing. And I'm like, I don't have Van Helsing. And I'm running down the street, like, get all those dogs back. I'm running down the street, screaming like a lunatic, Van Helsing, Van Helsing. You know, this goes to show you that, like, if there's an emergency or something, I mean, you've got like a woman half dressed screaming Van Helsing, like this vampire. I don't even know.
Van Helsing, you murderer!
There's a vampire name down the street, and no one is coming to my rescue. Luckily, Van Helsing appeared from and so I picked him up. He's like a 30-pound puppy. He's huge. And I ran back. It was the biggest adrenaline rush. Like, after I could not sleep for the rest of the night. I was like, I could not believe it. I was so thankful. That has been the biggest scare. Other than that, I mean, I've had a couple shoot out the door. One of them shut out the door once, and somebody I saw on Facebook, somebody said if a dog ever, you know, like her dog would get out and she'd chase it and chase it and chase it for miles and couldn't get the dog, and so she would just lay down in the street and the dog would come. So I had started, I'm like yelling at the dog, and she, oh, you know, she's all excited, and I remembered that, and I laid down and it worked. She ran straight to me, and I was like, thank God. Other than that, I haven't had any escapees. So I do keep a gate between, of course that didn't help in this situation, but I keep a gate between my living room and so no one gets out the front door on us, because that's a big fear of mine. I think the weirdest thing that ever happened is I got this request in the town next to mine, which I don't go over there, but the guy said that it was an emergency because he was out of town and his wife left him and locked the dog in the house, and he wasn't going to be back for like 2 to 3 more days. So I was like, okay, I'll go get your dog, because I felt bad for the dog and for the guy. So I took my husband with me. It's the only time I ever was like, you need to come with me, because it was, by then it was like 9 or 10 at night, and it was not daylight savings time, it was dark. So we got over there, and he told me the key was in the grill. So we go to the backyard, and the key is not in the grill or anywhere. And I see the dog inside, and I'm asking, and everywhere we walked around the house, the camera would do that, woo-hoo, you're being recorded, or whatever it does, that kind of camera. He was like, try all the, so I'm like walking around, like trying all the doors, trying all the windows, and it's like 10:30 at night, and it's not the best part of town. And I finally was like, I really want to get your dog out, but like, I am afraid someone's going to call the cops on us for trying to break into the house. You know, I was like, I'll come back in the morning and see what I can figure out. And he was like, you know, break in or whatever. The next day, he said he's going to call a locksmith. So then he did call the locksmith, and then it was like, the locksmith's there, can you get over there? And it was like just random. So I had to like rush over there. It's like a 30-minute drive, and the locksmith was there, but the locksmith didn't start until I got there. So then I had to wait for an hour while the locksmith did it. I guess he could see the dog or whatever, but he was like, are you going to go in there by yourself? So it was a Belgian Malinois, which they're like huge. They look like police dogs. They're not. They look like giant German Shepherds, I guess. And I was like, yeah, I'll go in there, because I'm just not scared of dogs. And so I did, and the dog was fine. This dog did not have a single accident, and he had been locked up for over 24 hours. Who knows if she let him out before then. So I took him out, and he must have peed for 5 straight minutes. Then I took him with me, and I took him home, and I took him to my backyard first, and then I let my dog out, and he just straight attacks my dog. So then I had to, my dog was okay. I mean, I yelled, and he got off her really quickly, but I was like, okay, he obviously can't stay here. So then I had to tell the guy, I can't keep your dog because he's attacking my dog. I will come back to your house and check on him. So then I had to take him back to his house, and the locksmith gave me the keys to his house. He told me to lock him in his truck, so I did. So then when the dog started having issues, his truck was locked. They were locked in his truck. He's like, I can remote unlock it, but he couldn't. And it finally did work, but it was like it was just, everything was an ordeal. And I was like going over there, which I was still kind of freaked out about, because I was like, I don't know why this chick left. I don't know if she's going to come back, if she's got another boyfriend. Like, I don't know if he cheated, maybe me, like, I don't know. It was kind of freaked me out. But now I'm driving 30 minutes several times a day to check on this dog. I never heard from the guy again. Like, he didn't leave a review or a tip or anything. I don't know what happened with the guy's wife or anything, but that was definitely an experience.
One of my everyday dogs hurt her eye, so I have to give her some eye drops. She's a little tad bit wild, so kind of worried. I did have to take care of a cat that had diabetes and give him shots twice a day once. And then I had to give chemo to a cat once, which was horrible. I had to do it twice a week, and I basically had to hold the cat down and shove this horse-sized pill down his throat and put gloves on, and then I had to wear gloves to clean the litter box because the poop was radioactive or something. So that was terrible. I had a blind dog once. That was the sweetest. He just would slowly walk around and run into things, like run into them and then back up until he figured out where he was supposed to go. He was the best dog. I had a deaf dog, and I actually kept the deaf and blind dog at the same time, but they didn't know each other. So it was those dogs were actually very enjoyable. Hi, Hudson. Hi, sweet boy. You okay? Hey, sweet boy. What you need, buddy? What you looking for? You need to go outside, buddy? You need to go outside? You need a potty? You need a potty, buddy? Come on, let's go this way. I had a dog have a seizure. They told me when they dropped her off that she had had 4 seizures in the last month, and the vet didn't think it was an issue enough to put her on seizure medication. So they just took her off her like trifecta heartworm and put her on like regular heartworm and said she should be fine. Well, the first night I got her, she sure enough had a seizure, and my husband was downstairs with her and he started yelling at me, and I just like made sure she didn't get hurt. My dad had epilepsy, so like I know how to handle somebody with a seizure. And then after, it took like an hour, maybe 2 hours for her to kind of calm down. And then I finally got her to calm down and sleep with me for the rest of the night. And then the whole next day she was just exhausted. That's only the only real medical problem that's come up while I've actually had one. Over the past year as a pet sitter on Rover, I've had quite a journey, and the numbers tell a story of their own. I've completed 327 bookings for 95 different clients. 26 of those have become repeat customers. The consistency has helped me build trust, and I truly believe it also boosts your visibility in the Rover search results. Out of those bookings, I'm proud to say that I've received 91 5-star reviews, which means a lot to me. The feedback not only helps me grow my business, it is a reminder of the relationships that I've built with pets and their people. You can actually find helpful performance insights in the Rover app itself, and I recommend checking that regularly to track your progress. Here are some fun facts from my year on Rover. So the most common dog names that I've cared for is a tie between Duke and Daisy. When it comes to human clients, I've met more Matthews and Hannahs more than any other names. The breed that I've cared for most often is the ever-loving Golden Retriever, with Yorkies coming in second. Most likely to have anxiety are Pit Bulls and Bully breeds. They can be the sweetest dogs, but they often need extra love and reassurance and patience. Most likely to have accidents indoors are tiny toy breeds. Their small size sometimes makes house training more of a challenge, especially in new environments. Most likely to bark a lot or chase cats are definitely herding breeds. They've got a lot of instinct to control their surroundings, and they don't hesitate to let you know what's going on. It's been an incredible year full of wagging tails, muddy paws, and lots of cuddles, and I've learned so much more than just the logistics of dog sitting. I've learned about communication, boundaries, pet behavior, and what it takes to run a business that people trust. If you're thinking about starting your own Rover journey, or just love hearing behind-the-scenes stories from a pet sitter's life, be sure to stick around, subscribe, and check out the rest of my videos.